In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the cutest summer boxer shorts, and this is a very easy, straightforward and simple tutorial. I have made it to be very beginner friendly, so even if you don't have experience with pattern drafting or you don't have a pattern to go with, you can make these shorts. If you're not an experienced sewist and you're just starting out in learning how to sew, this is a very good first project for you to try on. Like I just said, this is going to be a very beginner friendly tutorial, and I'm going to be taking you through every single step you need in order to achieve these shorts. So just make sure that you're paying attention and you're listening to every single instruction that I give, and follow everything and just do everything as I do so you get the same results. As long as you have a sewing machine, fabric, and a pair of scissors, you can definitely get the same results that I did at the end of this video. So let's go over some of the tools and the materials that you need in order to make this boxer shorts. First of all, you're going to need a good amount of fabric, at least half a yard to 1 yard of fabric depending on your size. My hip measurement and what I'm using to judge by size is mostly like your hip circumference. So my hip circumference is 33 inches. So you just take your tape rule and measure around your hips, and round my hips is 33. If you are my size, half a yard of fabric will be good enough for you. If your hip circumference is higher than 45 inches, it is better that you get a yard of fabric to cut these shorts, because you know you're a beginner and you really do not are not so sure on how to tweak these, but a professional will be able to tweak half a yard of fabric, because these are just really simple, above the knee short. The next thing you're going to need is a good pair of fabric cutting scissors. Smaller things that you might need would be tailor's chalk. You also need sewing thread in the matching color of your fabric, measuring tape or your tape rule, whichever you choose to call it, because that's what you're going to use in taking the measurements of your body to get the right measurements for the short. And of course, you're going to need a good amount of elastic band. So I'm using this little 1/4 inch elastic band in white, and that will be going into my waistband. You'd also need safety pin, a small safety pin, because that's what you're going to use in getting the elastic through the waistband. You'd also need sewing pins, because as a beginner, it's easy for you to match up the seams by using the pins to hold the fabric together in the right places. And of course, you need a sewing machine. I don't think I need to put a picture of that, but I know you guys get the drill. So let's not get this intro video too long. Let's get into the sewing and the cutting process. Using my hip measurement, like I told you guys earlier, is 33 inches. My hip circumference, that is. When you divide that by 4, I think you have something like 8.5. I'm not sure, but like my maths guys, you'd have something like 8.5. So you're going to add about 4 or 5 inches of ease to that, which will also be inclusive of your sewing allowance, because boxer shorts like these are not fitted at all. They need to be very, very free. So what I'm doing right here is to mark the point for your hip. So the hip is usually the standard for most people. It's usually about 6 inches from the waist, 7 inches. So you see the way I took it, and 2 inches is above. It's outside of the fabric. That's because of the waistband. The waistband is going to account for 2 inches. So you take 6 where your hip is going to begin from, and then you take 11 for your crouch depth. My crouch depth is 11, and you already know my hip circumference, so that's what I'm working with. So depending on how much your hip circumference is, that's could determine your crouch depth. You could figure out how to take a measurement for your crouch depth, and mine is 11, so I just took 11 over there. So now I'm just going to connect the curve. I've already taken the measurement at the waist point. Remember I told you your hip measurement, what you have, you divide it by 4, then you add 5 inch for ease and sewing allowance. So that's what I've taken at the top. So I just curve it out. and I'm making sure that the length of my shorts is perfect. So it's about 17 inches. Remember that you're going to fold in the hem and you're going to attach a waistband that's about 2 inches. So this is it. This is what it should look like. So just go ahead. This is the front piece. We're cutting it separately. So we're going to cut the front piece first, then the next would be the back piece. So to cut your back piece, you're going to put the front piece that you cut over the same fabric folded like that, and you're going to increase it by an inch and also extend it by 1.5 inch at the seat area. The areas where you see the arrow are the areas where you're going to extend it, just like I did my own. So the back and the front piece are really similar. The only thing is that the back is slightly bigger than the front. So at this point, you should have 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. So I cut 1 piece for the back and I'm just trying to, lay over that 1 piece I cut to get a second one for the back. So you need 2 pieces for the back and 2 pieces for the front. So you're going to use the remaining fabric that you have to cut the strip for the waistband. So the waistband, like I told you guys earlier, is going to be 2 inches in width. It's going to be 2 inches in width. So you have to take account for sewing allowance. So you're going to make it 2.5 inches. So you see the way I folded it, that side on the left is on fold while the side on the right is open. That's how you're going to fold it, and you take your width as 2.5 inches. So the length of your band, it's going to be depending on how much elastic that you have. So I talked about the width of the waistband strip being 2.5 inches. You can make the length as much as you like to, depending on how much fabric you have left, how much of elastic that you have. My waistband was about 40 inches long because I didn't have enough fabric left in order to do it. But the more you can make it, the better. You can make your waistband as long as 60 inches, because as long as you have enough elastic band and enough fabric, just go ahead and make it like 60 inches, 65 inches, because by the time you gather it, it will be really easy and full. So you're going to fold pieces of fabric like I just did here, because I'm trying to cut pieces for the pockets. The measurements you're going to be using are going to appear on the screen now. So just follow that measurement that I have used to cut the pocket and follow the shape in which I cut my pockets. Just follow everything I do step by step and you get it. So make sure that you slant the sides, only the front sides for the pocket. So you come down by 7 inches and just slant it, just the way it's looking now. And then you slant 1 piece for each. Remember you cut 4 pieces for the pocket. So you pick 2 of those pieces and you slant it just the same way that you have slanted pants, the front piece of the pants. So we're currently still working on the front piece of the pants. And now what you're going to do, what you're saying is how I have laid over the pockets. So you're going to lay over the pockets. Another video, this video that is showing right now. Lay your pockets to look like this. Then you're going to sew the edge round of the pocket. You're going to sew the edge of the pocket round. I'm going to bring that picture around, but I'm going to bring that video back so that you see how you sew, where you're going to sew the pockets round on the front piece. The back piece has no business with the pocket, so do not even touch the back piece at this point. And you can see that I've joined my 2 front pieces together. So you go join your 2 front pieces together, join your 2 back pieces together, but leave the back piece on one side because we're going to be focused on the front piece now, fixing the pocket to the front piece. Just pay attention to every single thing I'm saying, and also the little notes I'm leaving on the screen. Those are really important. Read those and just take your time. You're not going to miss it. It's not that difficult. It's very simple, in fact. So if you've completed the front piece by adding the pocket and you have achieved it to look like this, now the next step will be for you to put your back piece over it. Remember I said you should sew your back piece at the center, join the 2 pieces at the back, and then keep it aside. Now you're going to bring that 2 pieces that you joined earlier for the back, and you're going to align it. Remember that the back piece is bigger than the front, so you're just going to align it gently at the sides. It doesn't have to be the same thing at the same side, at the same amount of fabric. You're just going to align it at the sides. Make sure you use your pins. Now you're going to pin the side and then use a 1/4 inch to just sew down the sides straight. After you've pinned the sides, you're going to flip it over the under. You're going to align. Like I said, you see, it's not equal. It's not the same. It's not meant to be the same. The back is bigger. So you're going to just align the point, align the middle point of both the front and the back piece, and then pin it. And then you're just going to pin it all around because you're going to be sewing that space as well. So after taking it to your sewing machine, it should look like this. This is what you should look. Do not forget to tack double stitch the points of your pocket so that it will not be like opening up. It can easily just stay. I'm going to put an arrow there. Double stitch the points where those arrows are pointing to so that they can stay down and stay flat before you attach the waistband. So I think all that is left now is to attach your waistband and to hem your shorts. So remember that the waistband is 2 inches. We cut it 2.5 inches. So here I have sewn up the waistband. I sewed 3 stitches on it. If you look closely, I don't know if I have a close-up shot, but I sewed 3 stitches across the waistband. So 3 lines across the not close because the elastic band will be going into each of those spaces, each of the 3 spaces that you have sewn. So it's put one end to the other on the good side, put one end to the other on the good side, and then just sew 3 lines where the elastic will be going through each of those lines. So it's time to use your safety pin. You put your safety pin at the edge and lock it at the edge of your elastic band, and then you'll be putting it through each of those holes. You should have 3 spaces now, so you just try to like squeeze it in. Look at how I'm doing it. You squeeze it in, then you pull, squeeze it in, then pull the fabric. You're pulling the fabric, not the elastic. You squeeze the fabric in, pull the pin and the fabric backwards. So you do that for a bit. So here's what I got after putting my elastic through the 3 spaces. This is what it looks like. So now I'm just going to attach it to my shorts, and that would be, and then hem my shorts by 1.5 inch. I'm just going to hem the edges of my shorts, and that will be it. So there you go. You've made yourself the cutest boxer shorts. Hit the subscribe button and give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.